everyone, and welcome to ClovenCast, the podcast show where we have no intro. I'm Spirit, and joining me tonight are my lovely co-hosts. Would you guys please introduce yourselves? We have an order for this. I've written it down. Maple, you're first.
I'm first. Hi, I'm Maple. I'm your friendly Canadian maple deer that's green. Who's next?
Christy.
Probably me. Hi. I'm a weirdo who just so happens to have a working mic tonight.
Hello, I'm Springheart the Llama. I'm also from up north where we send our old people out on ice floes. No, I'm joking. Hi, welcome to the show.
And tonight we are going to be talking about, well, we're not really talking about, but we are going to be reading our very cringy fanfics from long, long ago, back in the early 2010s and before. AKA, we're looking at a good hour or so of just reading stupid stuff and having a bit of fun with it. So, if you're of drinking age, feel free to sit back, grab a drink, and hang out with us as we break back into the trauma.
Although, just to clarify, I did not. All of my fanfics have been unpublished, and they were in notebook form that never saw the light of day.
We'll have to cover your stuff in the future.
Yeah, I'll just at the end list out all my premises.
We'll go ahead and roll initiative. So, would everyone please acquire your d20s? I got a 10.
Yeah.
Nat 20!
Okay.
I got a 2.
Okay, and then, so it's going to be Spring, Spirit, Maple. Christy, have you rolled?
Yeah, I got an 8.
Okay, so tonight's order is going to be Spring, myself, Christy, and I got hiccups now. Why do I always get hiccups whenever we start recording?
And Maple.
Yes, and Maple. I'm sorry, Maple, you got replaced by the hiccup.
Oh my god.
But we'll go ahead, I'll drop the initiative order. So, Spring, would you like to A, introduce your fanfiction a little bit, and B, do some reading?
Yes. Welcome, boys and girls, to a wonderful world of... Let us go back to the wonderful year of 2006. Springheart was 14 years old and was really into a popular franchise called... Oh, I don't know if you've heard of it. Sonic Underground, okay? Really loved the show. It was on all the time, and she really just didn't know the term at the time, but really wanted a Mary Sue character in the universe. And, you know, the 3 kids, siblings, you know, they had a band, but, you know, I have to walk you through this because this is not a complete story. They didn't have a singer in their band, and that was going to be my characters, that they were going to find a cool necklace, and their weapon was going to be a cool microphone, and they were going to, like, join the band. So...
I know this series, and just...
I remember watching it as a kid.
My hands are already sweaty because it's such cringe. So... Let me
laugh at you, and you in turn can laugh at us.
Yes. All right. So, let me take you to the world of Sonic Underground, where they made a vow their mother would be found. Sonic Underground. All right. Now that your nostalgia, whatever. Are tingling. Let us go to...
Our nostalgias are tingling, everyone. That's the quote of the night.
Yep. Please clip that.
Yes, someone please clip that.
We're going to read... It's supposed to say Duchess, but it's Duchess of Prylia. Subtitle, Sonic Underground. Okay. Let me do. Okay, here we go. The battle against Robotnik seemed to last forever, and my children were being to feel that they would never defeat him, but soon they would be reminded that there is always hope. Sonia rode fast on her pink-painted motorcycle as she speeded down a dirt road in the middle of nowhere, being chased by Robotnik's goons, Sleet and Dingo. Don't let her escape. Don't worry, Robotnik, sir. We'll stop her, Sleet said into his communicate-hor. And you're welcome. And by the way, I am reading the spelling mistakes as best to my ability. And turned it off. Sonia looked behind her as the Scorpion Mobile, that's right, mobile, not mobile, flew down toward her. Anytime now, Sonic, she mumbled. When life...
Sorry, your Julia White impression.
I practiced.
So you know, like baby mobiles, right? The things that hang over babies' cribs.
Yes.
I just have like a very violent image of just one just crashing down.
All I can think of is Robotnik being like on television, being like, Scorpion Mobile, $49.99 a month. You get no data with it, but you'll have terrible reception. Like,
it's like, oh, what's his name? The Old Spice guy. Like,
yes,
it's Terry Crews. In like the commercial, it's like for $7.99 a month. Anyway,
yes. All right. Okay. Oh gosh, this line. Okay. When life... Oh wait, no, what's his voice? When life returns to this land, a great power will be in her hand. From a different land, from a different place, she will have a different face. Sir? Sleet asked, confused, just like everyone else reading this fan fiction. It was part of a prophecy. The oracle predicted that the Duchess would return. And then in giant letters is the word rewrite, because that sounded dumb.
oh my god.
So Robotnik walked off of the command ship as it landed on a withered landscape. Exactly what are we doing here, sir? Sleet began, but fell silence when Robotnik put his hand up to silence him. There, he pointed. Sleet and Dingo looked to find in this wasteland, which appeared to be the remains of a once beautiful garden. In the middle was a raise, which had a large ancient mirror on it. It's just a mirror, Dingo said. Set up a perimeter surveillance. I think that's perimeter surveillance, which, anyways, I want to know if anyone shows up here. If someone does, contact me before you make contact. Is that understood? Crystal. And the little star thing that indicates time went by is right there. Sleet, how long do we have to be out here? Dingo whined, sitting in the Scorpion Mobile for over a month, I never caught that, was starting to get to him. Sleet, who was watching some mid-tours, resting his feet on the dashboard, looked over his shoulder. When Robotnik says so. We've been out here for days. He changed accents there. That was fun.
I know I'm jumping in last minute, but I'm just imagining like this one character just sitting in a freaking baby crib. As like cute little evil mobile just like spins around and he's just staring at
I
it.
mean, it wouldn't be far out of this show to do something like that. So, Sleet and Dingo did weird stuff. Okay, they're actually Dingo was disguised as a baby in one episode. So
I remember I watched pretty much the whole series up until the non-climactic ending.
oh, so mad.
Anyway,
Sleet turned around from his monitors. Oh, quit your complaining, Slate. That's all you've been doing. I should turn you into a Slate, Dingo said, pointing to a monitor. Sleet turned to see a figure appear from the now glowing mirror and begin to walk away from it. The little star that says that time went by. Sleet walked down the dark alley, disguising his identity with a cloak covering his face. He looked around before knocking on the door. A small... Don't laugh.
Yeah, if we laugh, she's not going to be able to focus, and then we'll just sit laughing for half an hour.
It's so good. I'm almost there. A small sliding window opened, and part of a face could be seen. The prickling of thumbs, the figure said. Something wicked this way comes. I don't... this doesn't make any sense. This password doesn't make any sense.
I'm lost.
honestly, I'm just waiting for like the Mary Sue to just roll in like, what's that, bitches?
Yeah, Sleet said. He smirked as the door opened to the club. He made his way toward the bar and sat down. What'll it be? The bartender asked, cleaning a glass with his towel. And then there's literally just quotations with a like the underscore like blank there, because I believe I was supposed to figure out some kind of cool drink to place there that Sleet was going to order, but there's nothing there. So Sleet's not getting anything from the bar and just leaving the bartender hanging. He's so rude.
Yes, bartender. Give me a good glass of nothing.
Or like the Dirty Desert Sunday surprise. I don't know.
Yeah, but of course, Sleet's being rude right here. Sleet spun on his bar stool as a man began to spec on the center stage. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Please welcome Gloria to the stage. A round of applause came from a crowd of people. Excellent sound effects. Sleet watched as a young cat, no older than 17, walked onto the stage. Enter my Mary Sue character here. And there she is, my friends.
Let me be good to you from like, what was it? The Great Mouse Detective.
No, you gotta play Why Don't You Do Right from Roger Rabbit.
And there, my friends, you will never know the interaction between Sleet and Gloria. Because that, my friends, is a cliffhanger. Just like Sonic Underground. Will they find their mom? You won't know. The prophecy, will it get fulfilled? You'll never know. Will my fanfiction get finished? No, it won't, but you know. Yep. So that's but I also picked this because I made a doll, like I went to like one of those doll makers where you get to pick the outfits, and I made an outfit for Gloria. So I posted that in the server. I don't know if you want to share that, Spirit, real quick with everyone.
Let me make a new file so that I can show people.
Okay.
Let's say it's like you may as well.
Yeah. Pictures and stuff?
Yes, it's in pictures and stuff. Is the Luia? I can't read that.
Oh my god. Well, what a trip.
Yeah.
Oh, does that mean that I have to read mine first? Or mine now?
I'm glad I could take you on this this
bad
adventure.
Bad fire alpaca. No saving.
So that was what, Gloria was her name?
Yes, her name was Gloria. Which
right.
And apparently she was a no older than 17-year-old cat.
Well,
Sonic character.
No older than. Therefore, she's off limits, everybody.
yeah. Otherwise, the FBI is knocking on your door.
Yeah, but Sleet and Dingo, we're definitely going to have a chase scene with her after that.
Oh my god. Wow, well, round of applause to Springheart and your fanfiction there. So
thank you. I am definitely not worthy of applause.
Oh my
I guess that makes it my turn. So apologies, everyone. I'm going to have to not draw during the duration of which I'm reading, because otherwise, if I have an eye on the thing that I'm reading and the thing that I'm drawing, I won't be able to draw and read at the same time.
Ooh,
that sentence made sense.
I was gonna say, maybe you just pull up your fan fiction and we just go along with you.
Okay, fine.
I'm just, for visual sake, like, it'll be adventure.
Yeah.
Let me bring it up. Let me just make sure that this fits in OBS. Okay, this does fit in OBS.
Yay.
So, hang on. Here's the preface. First off, I'm not on my old DeviantArt account anymore. I abandoned this account 5 years ago because I was a cringe child. I got good later on. So, here's the basic premise. So I wrote this originally back in 2013. Yes. So I was a middle school little turd back in the day.
I was a senior in high school. Oh gosh.
Oh, how old was I? I have to do math now.
Wait, what year was this again?
2013. I didn't publish it until 2015.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought you said 2015 because that was the year I graduated. No, I would have been like a sophomore.
But let's see. So the basic premise here is that young child me had little concept of actually making original stuff. So I basically I made a Frankenstein's monster of Fallout Equestria, Halo, and I think I actually put a little bit of what else did I put in here? There was something else in this Frankenstein's monster of, aside from My Little Pony. There was something else in here that was added. Anyway, I'm sure we'll discover it when we get to it.
So what I'm hearing is this is going to be a clusterfuck?
This is going to be a clusterfuck of stolen lines and, really bad art. As you can see, 13-year-old me drew with a mouse and didn't know jack shit about texture.
It's beautiful.
I mean, you were 13, so can you blame you?
It was before I started taking proper art classes, so...
Look at that horn. Is that a horn?
Oh my god.
Yeah, is that
Please tell me that's a horn.
That's an ear, I think.
Okay, I was gonna say, if that's a horn, that's even... Mwah, that's better. I love it.
Nah, the characters aren't that edgy.
Okay.
Alright.
I think Zeno says, I think this is one of the first things I saw when I first found your stuff on the internet. Oh god, don't make me feel old.
Oh my god, yes! Make you feel old!
Yes.
But, okay, so before we begin, the basic idea is that this takes place in an alternate universe where Equestria is at war with the Changelings, and the Changelings, so basically after Chrysalis's defeat in Season 2, what happens is she goes, and over the span of about 20 years, she builds an army.
Mm-hmm.
And so, essentially what it is that this takes place in a very grimdark and edgy area. So basically, prepare yourself for edgy teenage angst. And not knowing how to write actual characters. I don't think the characters had much outside of their actual roles. So, we'll go ahead. We'll see how long it takes me to get through. Chapters, air quotes, aka it's like 2 things at a time. Like 2 paragraphs at a time. So, let's see.
Let's do it.
Note, if you haven't read the prologue to this fanfic, you will be confused. We're not reading the prologue today, by the way.
Aww. Okay.
Alright, so we're gonna be confused.
Yes!
Yes, the confusion adds to the fun.
Oh my god, alright. Let's do
Chapter
this.
1, Fallout. Our story begins in the Equestrian Military Headquarters, underground Canterlot. A navy blue bat pony by the name of Blitzkrieg stood guarding the door to a meeting room, where military leaders stood discussing tactics and trying to sort through the mess of what is now the war against the changelings. This is before I actually learned that you had to separate paragraphs when it came to dialogue. So separate your dialogue from your other paragraphs, kids. Has there been any confirmation from Merpony HQ? An Earth Pony guard asked, tapping his fingers on the large round table at the center of the room. No, their decision is yet to be determined, said an old Pegasus guard. Whatever their decision be, better hurry. No, I read that wrong. Whatever their decision, better hurry up, or else I'll make those stupid scaled idiots jump out of the water and go right to the changelings.
Oh my god! What a line!
What a beautiful, fluid part of the English language you just bestowed upon us.
See, Spring, you can confirm I got better at dialogue.
Yes.
He took a knife from his utility belt and stuck it right in the territory marked Merpony territory. I think this guy's a racist. Wow. Patience, Nocturne, a voice came from the doorway. You're known for your skills, but you're not part of my team for your anger. And this is where self-inserting comes into play, because I didn't have any other characters at the time, so I basically took the one character that I had all the time, and I shoved her into different stories whenever I needed a female character.
Well, and wasn't Skybreeze, like, your spirit before spirit?
Yeah, she was, like, the original mascot for my channel, because I didn't know how to design any more than one character. Commander Skybreeze, the leader of the Equestrian Special Ops team, walked in. Her white armor seemingly flawless compared to the old wartime armor that the guards wore in the room, covered in dust and falling apart.
Wow.
Sentence flow, everyone.
Oh my god.
The blue Clydesdale Pegasus was known not only for her flying skills, but also the fact that she had a bat pony for a brother. Sky walked up to the table, examining the map and seeing the knife stuck still in the map. She pulled it out, looking at the intricate carvings on the blade. An obviously old blade, used in the time before the war for whittling by the indents on the blade. Can you see where I have the issue of repeating words? Yeah, I'm getting better about it, though.
The blade was repeated at least 3 times.
Take a shot every time I read a word, you'll be dead in 10 minutes. Taking the small 4-inch knife, Skybreeze threw it, grazing Nocturne's mane just enough to cut it about half an inch shorter, eventually sticking in the wall behind him. Nocturne went to retrieve it, unable to even pull the knife out after it got wedged between 2 cracks in the wall. Turning to the other guard, Skybreeze saw an obvious look of worry on the stallion's face. Check this capitalization, everyone.
Oh,
Truly.
Wow.
Truly
Wow.
quality. Where's my cursor? There's my cursor. Let's see here. What's the status of the local populace? We've had a total of 100 dead from the last raid, but it seems everyone was able to get to the shelters before the bombs started to hit it. See, contradictory dialogue, everyone. This says everything. The guard said, Nocturne returning to his place at the table after unsuccessfully retrieving his knife. The room shook as a loud boom echoed overhead, dust falling from the ceiling. Skybreeze brushed the dust off her shoulder. I'll relay this information to Princess Luna and Princess Cadence. As for you, Nocturne, I want you back into your quarters for the rest of the night. Nocturne's face went from fear to anger like lightning. Quarters? While a raid is happening, you want me back in quarters? Nocturne pulled his knife out from the wall, threatening to throw it at the commander. The younger guard grabbed his arm. With all due respect, sir, the guard said, I believe the commander has a point. You haven't slept in days, let alone you've practically worked yourself to the bone. It's time to rest. Nocturne gave a huff, then returned the knife to his belt. Another guard escorted him out of the room. See, I never implied that there was another guard in there. You always have to, you gotta establish how many characters are in the room before you can actually say that. Let's see, Buck has a question. Have your friends in the call read your Spectral Rings draft, Miss Spirit? Spring has, I don't know if the others have. I gave them the draft if they wanted to, but all of us have been crazy busy, so.
Yeah.
Especially you, Maple. As an essential worker, you baby. You precious baby. Everyone give Maple some love for being an essential worker.
Oh, no.
Yes.
All the love sprinkled all over you.
Oh.
All over.
But at a safe distance.
We'll give you a hug from 6 feet away.
Thanks.
Let's see. I guess I'll continue for now. Skybreeze turned to the guard. You've obviously got a lot of guts, Lieutenant. What's your name? The guard looked at Sky, not daring to look her in the eye after what just happened. My name's Delta, ma'am. Sky looked at the stallion, probably 18 or 19. You will refer to me as Commander from now on, Lieutenant, Sky said, leaving the room. Blitzkrieg followed along, shutting the door to the room. What is it? Sky said. Blitzkrieg wouldn't follow unless it was something dire. It's Princess Luna, Blitzkrieg said. She summoned you to the throne room. See, there was never any implication that he actually left the room. There was no implication that he ever left, because whenever you do this, you have to at least give some implication or notion that it would happen. I can pull up chapter 2 if we're interested in going, like if we want to keep going.
I mean, I'm not sure how quickly we want to go through these.
We got time.
We have time, and yeah. I mean,
we've been recording for a total of 25 minutes. So,
yeah.
Let me pull up. We'll go through a couple chapters and see what the audience feels like. If there's eventually a point where it's like people want to... Maybe one of these days I'll just do a podcast recording where we
Stop being embarrassed about your work and read it.
I'm not being embarrassed. I'm rambling while I pull up the next tab.
Well, then I'm wondering how much, because Chris, you don't have an actual fan fiction to read, so I'm just curious how much
premises of which to read out in order to get a reaction.
So yeah, I guess that's just where I am curious about. But if we like, I don't care. Like if just keep going with chapter 2. I don't care.
Go.
We'll give it a couple chapters. We'll move on to everybody else, and then if people in the comments want us to keep reading, we'll keep reading.
Yes.
Note, if you haven't read the previous chapters, you will not understand this or the following chapters. Check the comments for a link to the chapter guide.
Wow.
I think I included that disclaimer in every chapter.
What if, okay, you're writing spectral rings, right? And you're there like, and at the beginning of every chapter, it's like a paperback book too, and you just wrote, you need to read the previous chapters, otherwise you will be confused.
No, just at the beginning of book 2. If you haven't read the first book, you're not going to get what's going on in the second book.
Oh my god, if you did that for each chapter, I would die.
Like, I'm not going to torture my audience with that.
It's so good though, it's so meaty.
It's just every chapter. It's just like, you need to read the previous one, otherwise you'll be confused.
Yeah, man, you gotta read the previous stuff, man.
Why didn't you read the chapter before this one?
What do you mean the chapter before this one? I'm in chapter 1. Oh, you gotta read the prologue. There is no prologue. Well, too bad.
The prologue says you need to read the previous chapter. Book 1.
I will make, okay, one of these days I will make a book where I literally just troll people that says each chapter just says, read the last chapter.
If you release like a lore book, you should do that.
Just be an ultimate troll to my audience. Just like start at the last chapter of the book and then work forward.
Oh my god.
Yes. Anyway, we need to continue. We don't have infinite time.
All right.
Chapter 2. Our story shifts to the bowels of the military facility, where Delta has retired to his quarters for the night. He turned on the light, illuminating the small room he had to himself. You see, you will never find a lieutenant with a room to himself. That's basically like getting a single in college. It just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Delta hung his hand-me-down armor on a hook on the wall, then crashed on the bed, staring at the ceiling. Minutes passed, the booms from the raid shook the room, dust falling from the ceiling and collecting on his face. Delta gave a big huff, the dust on his face going into the air and leading him to choke and cough. Sitting up and waving the cloud away with his hand, Delta sat on the edge of the bed, picking up an old leather notebook on the bedside table. It was his father's journal. It was given to him when his father left for war. Half of the pages were still blank, ending on the day that his father left to fight. Delta was only 8 when it happened. He had been playing in the yard with his younger sister, Lily. A truck came barreling down the road carrying his soldiers. By the way, this is basically just... This is a universe where apparently, combustion engines exist.
I was gonna say, his father went to war, and he is at war. I think... Oh, you're probably gonna tell us what happened. Okay, keep going.
I don't remember what happened, that's the problem.
Keep reading.
His Uncle Corduroy stepping off the truck and going to the door, his father leaving him and his sister to their mother only to disappear in action. Face it, he's dead. Just the thought of it pained him. I say in the most monotone manner. Delta missed the days when he lived with both parents. How his father woke up every morning and made French toast with powdered sugar. You will never find a parent that will do that on a daily basis.
Not on a daily basis, but...
And how his sister would get sugar on her nose in the most adorable way. Don't do, I think that's cocaine, right? I'm trying to think of the drug that you snort.
Oh my god.
Were you...
I wasn't writing about the drug when I wrote this, but it made me think of it.
Okay.
Continue.
Now, nearly 10 years later, his father had disappeared, his mother was somewhere alone, his sister was somewhere here in Canterlot, and he was fighting a war. Delta took a look at the date on the page. Surprisingly enough, it was January 24th, his birthday. He turned on a lamp next to the bed, then started reading. Today was Delta's 8th... Okay, and this is another thing, everybody. I know I keep interrupting, but I'm going to give you information about writing. If you already have exposition about a specific detail, you don't need to say it again.
It's like, it's his birthday today. He turned on a light. He started reading a book. The book told him about his birthday.
Yeah, basically that. I mean, I don't think it was his birthday at this point, but let's see. Let's see here. Today was Delta's 8th birthday, and boy were we in for a big surprise. The boy came in at nearly 3 o'clock in the morning wanting to open his presents. So excited he couldn't even sleep anymore. I think he didn't even go to bed. While his mother didn't approve, I snuck the boy downstairs to the kitchen where a pile of presents sat. You can pick one present, son, but you have to wait for the rest until your birthday party later today. He filed through the presents, finding a small box about 3 inches wide, 4 inches long, and 1 inch thick. He showed it to me, holding the present up with his hands as we sat down at our old wooden table. It was wrapped in brown paper, held together by some string. Well, aren't you going to open it, son? I asked. The boy just stared at the gift as if it was going to open itself. Daddy, the boy said, I want you to open it. Delta pushed the gift towards me with his tiny little hands, giving me a nod of approval. I took off the string and tore the paper. Sitting in my hands wasn't a gift for Delta, but for me. Since starting this journal, I've practically taken it everywhere. Now that's led it to fall apart. The binding even started to come off. But the journal that I saw in my hands looked as if it had been freshly made, the binding re-sewn together and the leather trimmed down. I looked to see the boy fast asleep with his head on the table, a smile on his face after seeing how I reacted. Delta set the book down on the table, turning off the lamp, the thought of the good memory enough to tire him out. Delta crawled under the covers, smiling as he faded off into a slumber. Yeah, these chapters aren't very long, if you can't tell. They're like 4 paragraphs.
Also, they're ponies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hands?
They're anthropomorphic. This is when I was going through my anthropony phase.
He's related to Pinkie Pie.
Maybe he's related to Lyra, who knows?
I was gonna say, no one gets the okay, it's fine.
Wait, wasn't there that one episode where Pinkie had that, like, finger thumb thingy?
Yeah, there was like a thing where she...
Weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Well, do we move on to Christy now, or?
We'll do one more chapter, and then we'll go to... Wait,
I'm so curious of what happens.
Yes.
The thing is, okay, I just need to say this. You, so far, Spring and Spirit, you guys knew how to write when you were teenagers. When we get to mine, it's going to be an unbelievable clusterfuck. Okay, I have beaten you both in Cringe Fest.
Yes. Fuel me with your cringe.
It's gonna be amazing, and you know what? I'm kind of dead to like I read it a few times, like to people like my family and like Tyandaga, right? So I'm like, you know what? I should be able to read it just fine, but yeah, it's gonna be anyway.
We'll read one more chapter, and then we'll go to your ultimate clusterfuck, which should be a lot more entertaining.
And then Christy's last order.
What order did we have?
Yeah, I think
Christy's next,
and we'll end off with you.
Like, I know I've been silent, but
no, there's an order. Don't you skip it?
Yeah, it's Spirit, Christy, then Maple. We'll end off with Maple having the ultimate clusterfuck because that's going to be the most entertaining.
The golden crown jewel.
mostly
Don't build up the hype.
reiterate the
I built the hype.
cringy art I made, but okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh boy, I just read the first few sentences of this paragraph and it hurts my brain.
Hey, by the way, if you haven't read the previous chapters, you will be confused.
You can find the other chapters here. Last Resort Chapter Guide.
Hang on, I got
it's
an idea. Let me get my phone.
Oh my
Hey Siri,
God.
set a reminder.
Oh my God.
Remind me to make a t-shirt that says, if you haven't read the previous chapters, you will be confused. Period.
Oh my God, please. I would wear that.
I might actually, like, when I get my Teespring set up, for those watching this podcast, this goes up about a week after we recorded it, but for those watching this podcast, if I happen to have a Teespring in the description, go nab that. Let's see.
Real good.
Okay, chapter 3. I noticed that I gave a name to chapter 1, but none of the chapters after that. What's with that?
How dare.
It's a simple thing called laziness.
Or idiocy. Either way, I'd chalk it up to me being a 13-year-old dumbass, but let's go ahead.
Yep.
Let's move on. Skybreeze sat at a table, picking at a ham and cheese omelet while her brother wolfed down a ham sandwich. While most ponies were herbivorous, bat ponies were omnivorous, which resulted in Sky having the need to eat meat. She neither relished in the act nor did she want to do it. Blitzkrieg finished his sandwich, poking at Sky for more food. Of all the days, you had to be annoying today. Blitzkrieg, while smart and vigilant, tended to act a bit childish when it came to meals. Sky pushed the omelet over to Blitzkrieg, which he immediately started to devour, not even bothering to use a fork. The two Pegasi joined them. Oh boy, hey, Maple, you're gonna get a real kick out of this.
Name drop?
I think this is before I knew you, too.
Yes, it definitely was. If this was 2013, we never, even knew of each other.
We never even crossed paths. But, let's see here. Two Pegasi joined them. Reagan and Riley from the flight team. Both sisters worked extremely well in the field, even coming to invent active camouflage from energy crystals found below Cantrell, aka a Halo ripoff. Let's see. I need to keep Twitch open.
Yeah, frick.
I have to watch the chat, too.
How dare you want more food? I can't get over that.
How dare you be a growing boy of 17?
Yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know, the Spirit brought up the one character, Reagan, is because my real life name is Regan, so that's why that's funny, just as the FYI.
No,
Anyway.
I thought your name was always Maple.
Well, it's funny, I've had people say, no, you're Maple.
How do you pronounce it anyway?
I don't like your real name.
I'm gonna
okay.
mail you some maple syrup.
Some good old maple syrup.
If the border weren't closed, I would request some. Let's see. The two were... Oh, hey, Spring, guess what? I used this trope in Beta 9. Identical twins.
Yes.
Okay, Beta 9 actually drew a little bit from this project back in the day because I was lazy, okay? Well, not really lazy with Beta 9, but I was drawing back. I didn't even realize it until I'd finished scripting and developing the characters, but then it's just like, I feel like I've done this before. And then I look back and see, oh, wait. But anyway, the two were identical twins, both possessing the same look, but completely different speaking dialects. What?
What?
No, what? Reagan was the quiet one, often responsible for coming up with the answer, while Riley made it happen, or at least verbalized it.
Okay.
This entire sentence makes no sense to me. Anyway, moving on. You really should eat, Reagan said. You've got troops to train. Both sisters sat down, their bronze armor suits identical to the others. The only way to tell the two apart was the fact that Reagan had blue eyes and Riley had green eyes. Both twins had soft pink coats with almost butterscotch manes. Yeah, Riley said. Ever since Nocturne got court-martialed, Princess Luna ordered more troops to sign up for the special ops team. Skybreeze looked at the floor, unable to look at the twins. Wait, you're not telling me that you're the one who did this, are you? Riley asked. Blitzkrieg spat out his omelet. All three ponies' jaws dropped to the floor. You did what? Blitzkrieg asked. The three ponies staring at Sky. It's none of your concern. He follows my orders. I do not follow any of his, Sky said. And unless you want to join him in the correctional facility, I suggest you do the same.
I'm confused.
Me too.
What is happening?
Yeah, this is what... Welcome to a clusterfuck that is my first fanfiction.
I want the military drama. What's happening?
Spring's like, hey, so Spirit, when you're done reading this, link me to this fanfiction. I need to know what happened.
I mean,
need
I could give you a TLDR, because I do remember some of it. Let's see here. Sky stood up, preparing to leave the table. I don't want to hear any more of this from any of you. You understand? The three nodded, all three pairs of eyes reflecting an obvious feeling of fear. Sky walked down the hallway, going to her quarters. There was a note sitting on her bed. It read, "Please report to train the new recruits in the auxiliary gym at 11:30. So you'd usually find this in like a Dropbox or an official notification. You wouldn't find this sitting on your bed. Let's see. Sky checked the clock, showing 10 o'clock. She grabbed her armor, went to the locker room, and turned on one of the 5 showers. She let the water run through her mane, practically washing away the migraine that had developed over the past 24 hours. A timer went off. Sky, stepping out of the shower, came over to the dressing area, donning a web-like Under Armour first, then the protective metal plates. Sky walked over to a station, placing her hand on a pad and activating the machine. This is when I had a lot of difficulty with sentence tense. I still have trouble with it, but I'm getting better about it. The machine made a quiet humming sound, activating the shields in Sky's armor. Halo rip-off. Finally finished, Sky began heading towards the auxiliary gym. When Sky arrived at the auxiliary gym, a group of 20 or so stallions and a few mares sat on a bench on one side of the room. All of them were wearing training armor. Some sets had been handed down over the years, while some were fresh off the rack. "Now listen up," Sky said. "There are 25 of here, but only 2 of you will be able to make it onto my team. You've been chosen from the best to go on to the most exclusive missions anyone has ever seen. You'll be tested, both mentally and physically, through the next week. Good luck." Sky stood in front of the group. "Now I want 20 laps around the track, and whoever is at the back will have to do it again." The group started running, mostly stallions in the front with the mares tagging at the back. I think that was supposed to be lagging. All the runners were halfway around the track, all the runners except one. And that one was Delta.
I'm sorry, but the tagging just made me think it's like the stallions are the ones who are like focusing and like, yeah, no, we gotta get this done, but the mares are like, tag your It's like a hardcore like military action, but it's just like they're just like playing freeze tag or something.
Hardcore military action tag. I think we'll go ahead. So how long have we been recording? Okay, I've put my time in for the time being, so I'll save the tab. But for the time being, Christy, you want to talk about your concept?
Okay, so I feel like I should give background to what I was like when I was like a kid, back in like late elementary school to middle school, even to high school. I don't know. I wanted to be a writer when I was younger. And I had nothing in my arsenal other than Pokemon when I was in like 5th grade and whatnot. And I made a lot of cringy Pokemon fan fictions. Including the one where I took all my Pokemon cards and somehow made a story around the crappy basic ones that I had that were from Gen 1. Honestly, I don't remember a lot of it, except for it was centered around the anime. It was a typical anime episode of Pokemon, except with my trainer in it, and it was literally just me because, you know, when you're like, I don't know, 4th, 5th grade, you want to be a Pokemon master even if nobody else in your school wants to because Pokemon was no longer cool. And I figured it around. I forget everything that I wrote, except for the fact that it was based on Pokemon cards that I had, which I know included, like, Ponyta, like the basic Gen 1 fossil Ponyta, maybe a Squirtle, and I don't know, a Weedle. And the line with Brock, because this is how I associated with Brock. Girls.
Who doesn't, though? Like,
literally, the one line that still sticks out to me to this day from that stupid fanfiction was, "I won't get distracted by any girls along the way," because they were going after Team Rocket or some shit. I don't know. However, back in 2007, that was the age of where YouTube was first beginning, and you know what I used to watch during that age and time?
What?
AMVs?
Windows Movie Maker AMVs of Pokemon fan art, specifically Evolution shipping fan art, attached to songs that were popular during that time.
Oh noes.
Mm.
And I remember specifically when I was younger, probably in like 6th grade or whatever, I used to make a lot of Evolution fan fictions centered around like that kind of a theme, because some of them would like have their own story and whatnot attached to them. I don't know if anybody remembers these, but people made like AMV fanfics centered around EVs, and that's what I wanted to do, except I wrote it out because I had no idea how to use Windows Movie Maker. I didn't even know I had it.
And look at us now. We're all using advanced editing software while we make YouTube videos.
That's kind of where I got my minor start, sort of. Anyway, so my whole thing, I never knew how to like publish a fan fiction. So I just wrote in like big notepads whatever the hell I wanted. And middle school was also around the time when I discovered Sonic.
Oh boy.
Sonic, it wasn't through any normal means, like having a Sega Genesis and all that crap. No, I had Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii, and I got bored of playing Lucario one day because my whole entire life, up until that point, was centered around one thing: Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Literally Pokemon. That's all I was obsessed about until middle school. I was that annoying kid. And then suddenly I decided to play as Sonic one day, and then I decided to look him up, and now I became a fan. And what came with that was starting to make ship fics after binge watching, what was it? Sonic X, I think it was? Sorry, a thing just popped up on my computer. I'm trying to just get rid of it. Anyways, I started making Sonic ship fics and started making and drawing Sonic OCs, and that led to a bunch of fan fictions that never got published, and which is probably a good thing. Else I would have been another Chris Chan. I basically just wrote one thing that I still remember to this day because I had to deny other people from viewing it. It was that embarrassing. A Knuckles and Rouge fanfic about them being suddenly transported into an island and having to spend, like, they had to be stuck together in an island forever, and then they fell in love.
I get the essence that a lot of us that had shipping in our stories.
Huh?
I get the essence that a lot of us had shipping somewhere in our early fanfics.
So
Yeah.
much.
Do you want? Yeah, I guess mine kind of does.
I
But
don't
not
remember
really.
a lot of the ship fics, but I remember being obsessed with like Knuckles, like especially when I was younger. He's not my favorite now. I used to switch like between who is my favorite character in the Sonic universe because that was my new obsession.
I do
Then
remember being
suddenly
obsessed
ponies.
with Sonic Unleashed.
Sonic Unleashed was the bomb though, yeah. Anyways.
I had a lot of trouble with the daytime, but the nighttime was really fun.
I had a blast with like daytime, but had trouble with nighttime. Anyway, so eventually middle school ends, and I just cooled down my Sonic obsession because I realized that nobody wanted to go out with me because I was a
Aw.
Sonic cringe nerd, and I got very much bullied for it for good reason.
Poor Bigby.
So later on, it was high school. I was trying to be cool and start doing anime stuff and just draw anime because that seemed like the coolest course of action at the time. Until I looked at a bunch of computer nerds one day who were watching the first episode and went, "What the hell are you guys doing?" Well, I'm not going to explain that story because that's a story for another time. But later on, I dated a guy. I had my first boyfriend. And I eventually got him to like My Little Pony too. And before, like, high school ended for me, we started making our own Ponyo season. Unfortunately, he's the reason why Sapphire Heart Song exists.
And that's
So, because of that, he also had an OC that was kind of like the opposite of mine. It was red and black as opposed to white and blue.
You gotta have that contrast.
Yeah, we thought it was a cool idea at the time, but then we started making a fanfic. And then he started getting a little more detailed about his OC. I forget what it was called. It was like Firewing or some shit. He was an Earth Pony zebra, except it was a completely black zebra, and instead of having stripes, he had flames. It was the biggest pain in the ass ever, as like my old art indicates, and I wish I had some of my older stuff, like when I first started doing Copic marker drawings, because oh man, that shit was cringe. Like, I could show you his OC through that if I had that old notebook, but I don't.
Oh.
But yeah, apparently he was also half changeling, and apparently his changeling wings weren't real. They were robot wings, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Of course.
And he had like two sides. Like, his evil side, instead of having like the red flames, it would be like blue flames and like red eyes.
I feel like everyone had that at some point when it came to like
Yeah. Honestly, my main reason for being a Pegasus at that time was I thought being a unicorn was overrated.
When really
Ironic, because I decided to change it many years later in order to let go of that old OC. Both for personal reasons and fuck it, I want to be a unicorn, god damn it, reasons.
Yeah, I kind of had similar reasons with changing over to Spirit.
That's the story of how Sapphire Heart Song came to Equestria. Oh, right, and there was a bunch of other bullshit. Like, remember when I was trying to make my Pegasus have, like, a magical element and shit? That's where it stemmed from, that old fan fiction. And there was a bunch of other magical bullshit. Like, okay, the guy who I was dating wanted Chrysalis to be his mom. Like every other, like, changeling OC, they wanted Chrysalis to be their mom, but they were escaping an abusive relationship and all that bullshit. And this was, like, during the time when, I don't know, season 3 was done, I think? I don't know. That's all I really have to share from, like, my fanfiction days. Just those premises.
Hey guys, I don't know what else to work on in the background.
Well, why don't you
draw my old ex-boyfriend?
No.
Draw my OC cat character.
No ponies. Bad.
Or
No, he's not a pony. He's a half changeling.
No, draw my cat. Draw my Sonic cat character.
Oh my god.
No.
here's an idea, because now it's my turn, and I'm going to segue into this. Draw creepypasta characters, because buckle in. We got a My Little Pony creepypasta crossover, because I was a cringy, edgy little frick.
I'm working on my D&D character's ref sheet, because I have to add all his stupid scars. And I was working on this in the middle of the night, and it sucks.
Okay, so prefacing what I was like in 2013. All right, I had two friends, and we were very into like the creepypasta scene. Right, we were so edgy like that, and I'm pretty sure I would have been like full emo, borderline goth if I dressed the part, kind of thing. But in spirit, I was. And I was obsessed with My Little Pony and with the creepypasta. Like, me and my friends, we made characters that were like sidekicks to certain creepypasta characters. So just kind of prefacing that, and I, being the clever 13-year-old I was, figured, why don't I combine my two favorite mediums and just not mediums, medias, and make a fan fiction that only has one chapter to it, but a to be continued in brackets at the very bottom.
Oh my god.
So,
oh my god. Oh yeah, I also was in that creepypasta phase back in high school.
So
I think everyone goes through that phase at some point.
I
Yeah,
really didn't.
Fiction or anything like creepypasta based, but I was really into like reading and listening to creepypastas being read.
I still love creepy shit. I watch Nexpo and Nightmare Theater all the time.
I don't like creepy stuff
I
now.
haven't done it since like God, I haven't even listened to a creepypasta story since like my senior year in high school, and that was like 5 years ago.
The last creepypasta thing I've read or watched and listened to was the Supermarket Monster. I'm not sure if you guys have watched it or heard of it, but it's like this. It's a satire. I hope to God it's satire. If not, that makes it even better. But it's like this poorly written, so many grammatical errors of a quote unquote creepypasta of this guy named Roger. I'll link it in the chat because oh my god.
Okay.
You just reminded me of something I completely forgot about that I attempted to do but never finished. But I'll let you continue.
Okay.
Before I do that.
To be continued story.
So here it is. I will read it in its entirety, and oh my god, okay, everybody, just right now take a deep breath.
I wait with bated breath.
Okay.
Okay.
For all of you who love creepypasta and love My Little Pony, this is an adventure for Jeff the Killer, Slenderman, Ben.Drown, Smile.jpg, and Jane. Enjoy it, and don't forget to spread the word.
No!
Does anyone remember when Screamers were a thing? Because that reminds me of when Screamers were a thing.
I think that was Smile.jpg's thing, in his creepypasta, because it was like Smile Dog was like it was the creepypasta where people were getting these emails of the dog smiling, and then it was like spread the word, and it's like you'd link the email. That's what that was. So that's what that's a reference to. So anyway, chapter 1, dinner. I'm back with dinner from McSlenders, calls out a faceless man, tall and slender and skin pure white. Did you get flesh burger, Slendy? A pale white boy screamed out along with a husky with a non-stop smile. Slenderman dropped the food on the table. Flesh burgers for Smile and Jeff, finger McNuggets for Ben and me. An elf-like boy walked into the room wearing a green hat and a green outfit. Thanks, bro. Ben said.
I call it now Ben Drowned is a neat.
He's just like, okay, this is the good kush. Okay.
I wish I had popcorn. This would be perfect for popcorn.
Okay. Ben said as he sat down. Is my beautiful friend staring at us once again? Jeff said. Ben nodded. She sent an email today concerning that she was gonna make you quote unquote go to sleep. Oh, tut. Jeff, such a naughty little girl. Smile nodded and mimicked. Oh, tut tut, such a naughty little girl. Okay. Slender stared at Ben, notching that he is not being himself. Ben, okay, noticing, not notching, okay. Ben is usually like Jeff and Smile, always has a demonic grin and being a bit maniacal and crazy. Ben, what's up? Ben looked up at Slender and then back at his meal. Well, he stated, the internet is full of this friendship is magic, and sometimes I can't go anywhere with this pony shit in my way. It makes life stressing, you know? Jeff and Smile had their burgers in their mouths staring at him, then Smile spoke. It's not that bad. Have you ever bumped into the Cupcakes and Rainbow Factory fanfics?
No.
Okay.
No.
Ben looked at him for a long moment, smiled his usual demonic smile. Of course, my good friend. Now that is a cure for me. Slender then rolled his eyes and finished. Jeff, Smile, and Ben also finished their meals. Well, I have to go to work now. See you guys in the morning. Jeff nodded and pointed at Smile, and Ben with his with his knife. Now, my friends, stay here and beautify anyone who enters. Smile nodded again along with Ben. The fact that Slenderman has a freaking job.
Well, his job's to scare people in the woods.
I like that they're all roomies.
Just like
I'm genuinely invested.
Fridays at 5.
Okay. When
You
they
will
left,
not be able to understand the context if you don't read the previous chapter.
okay. Okay. When they left, Smile and Ben both felt sleepy. It's very rare that they get tired. They never sleep. But now, why do they feel tired now? When Ben walked to his room and curled up on his fresh, never-used bed, Smile did the same. They both fell asleep. Then a masked girl walked in. She had a long black wig and wore an old dress. She kind of resembled to a vintage doll. With her knife in her hand, she opened up and examined every room in the house. When she saw Ben and Smile, she let them be. When she saw Ben and Smile, she let them be, knowing that they weren't Jeff. Weren't Jeff. But then thinking, why would they be in the house? Jane had no knowledge about Smile and Ben. She was only after Jeff. When Jeff walked in, he saw Jane ready to attack. Oh, now, we can be friends, remember? Oh, remember? There we go. Missing an M there. Jane stared at him for a while, then came to his mind and shouted, "You killed my family, you evil monster! Even my friends, even your very own family!" Jeff just stared at her with the carved smile on his face. "Oh, I was only making them beautiful and putting them to sleep," he said. "Fuck you, Jeff! I will never be one of you!" Jeff smiled and threw her to the wall, but the wrong through. It was like you're passing through an object through. Slenderman walked into the house and saw Jeff standing there, his cold eyes staring into Jane's. "Jeff, is this the girl that you call your friend?" Slenderman. Okay, I'm sorry. I just love Slender's just having none of anybody's shit. Is this that chick? Oh, all right. Well, anyway. Slenderman said, glancing over to Jane, "Why, yes, I only ever tried to make her beautiful, but she always resists." Slender rolled his eyes and suddenly felt tired. "Why do I feel exhausted?" he moaned sleepily. Jeff lowered his knife and it resembled that he felt the same way. Jane as well. Slenderman teleported to his room and laid down in his bed, and Jeff crawled into his bed and fell asleep. Jane fell into a deep sleep on the ground. In the morning...
I'm gonna make you beautiful, but let's have a nap first.
just peace out.
You can crash on the couch or the floor, whatever.
Just the floor.
Just for the frat house.
All right. In the morning, they all got up one by one, but they struggled. Then they all went down onto 4 legs. What happened to them? Did they morph and teleport into a different world in their sleep? To be continued. So, did I tell you, or
No? What?
that this would be the cringiest and like crown jewel of cringe here?
This is why we're ending off with you, Maple.
Oh my goodness.
So, I appreciate feedback.
Well, I like that they're all living together. I'll say something nice first. I I like that they're all living together, seemingly harmoniously, in a house, together or apartment, whatever.
Just an
Uh,
apartment
but
studio.
kind of yeah. A studio apartment. That's
Wait, how, if
impressive.
it's a studio apartment, then how do they have rooms? Studio apartments are like one thing.
just funny to imagine. It's just all of them just sharing one room.
They all cuddle in a king bed, and Slender is just sitting there at the top. He sleeps on the headboard because he's that tall.
Can I just say, I love how Slender just like had nobody's shit. He's just kind of like.
I also love the fact that, like, apparently, like, you know, yesterday or like the weeks before, they were like, I don't know, in the kitchen or whatever, and be like, so I have this friend who won't let me make her beautiful, and I'm so upset about it. Like, that conversation clearly had to have happened in this story.
Yeah, like at some point or another, it's just like, so Jeff, what were you up to today? Well, I mean, I
couldn't maim a girl that I wanted to maim. Nothing much.
Like, oh, that's so upsetting. Like, I got to, like, you know, do all my creepy shit in the forest with like letters on the drawings on the trees and stuff, and like they just couldn't find all the things. But
it pays the bills.
you know what pays the bills, and you know the fact that somebody has a part-time job at a place called Mixed Slenders.
I find a special amusement in this.
It's pretty great. I mean,
yeah.
I like to look back at it and just be like, yeah, you know what? I wrote that, but you know what? It creates more stories in the future.
Like, why did they fall asleep? Like,
I'm
Okay.
going from memory.
Hello.
I think.
hi.
Hello.
Hi, Christy.
I just wanted to double check. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. But they were all falling asleep because I think I was trying to get like there's some sort of curse or some sort of spell casted on them that made them all of a sudden go to sleep. Because the kind of headcanon me and my friends had was that these like creepypasta characters never slept, right? So it's like, why the hell would they all of a sudden feel drowsy and sleepy? They don't sleep ever.
I thought it was the invader that was coming into the house that had some weird magical power, but apparently not.
No, it's like, yeah, nope, that wasn't it. Because, yeah, I'm just vaguely remembering it too, and it's just
because you set it up like that. That like, oh, I sleepy, I go to bed. Oh, invader came into house.
because like, it's Jane. So do you know Jane, the creepypasta character?
It sounds familiar. I don't have a visual though on my brain.
I think it's basically Jeff the Killer, but gender bent.
No. So Jane is a survived victim of Jeff. That's what that was. So basically, if you would to read them in chronological order, Jeff was like book number 1, and then Jane's book number 2, and the whole story is it's like her. Jeff wanted to make her just like him, right? And I think that's Jeff's ultimate goal with everybody. He wants to make everybody just like him. But Jane was like was a survivor, and now it's kind of like
So
on the hunt for him kind of thing.
It's kind of like a Harley Quinn thing, Harley and Joker thing, sort of. Except there's no mad love.
Yeah,
involved.
it's more like if Harley Quinn wanted to like go like and try to hunt down the Joker kind of thing.
Yeah, so basically after she broke up with him.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn is great, by the way, guys. You should go watch it.
Yeah, it's very good.
Oh yeah. I've been trying to get like some of my friends to watch it too. It's been fantastic.
So
What's good? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Harley Quinn.
Like the series,
the cartoon.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's fantastic.
I should get around to that. I've been kind of hyper focused on Outlander as of late, so that's been frustrating.
Okay, that's like my mom's favorite series right now.
Mine too.
Outlander.
God, yeah, it's my mom and stepdad's favorite as well. And oh my god, I've been watching it in season. What I'm on 4 now is making it's making me angry, but in a way that I just have to keep watching. You know.
mom has read the book while watching the series, and apparently it's been very faithful.
Well, that's good.
My mom's read the books and watched the show, so
I'll probably never read the books, but I'm not much of a reader, sadly. Whenever I try, it's like I quickly fall out of it. It's like, The only books I've ever really actually completed are the Warriors books.
Okay, this is going to sound super cringy, but the only books I've ever completed that were big and long were Twilight.
You know what?
We should do a reading of Twilight on stream one day.
I was forced to read Twilight when I was a kid while I was grounded from TV.
I've not. I couldn't get past the first. I couldn't get past the first paragraph of Twilight. My brain went nope, and I closed the book.
I was forced to do it, and I still don't know how I feel about it. I don't even think I remember most of the details.
It was in first person, and I was freaking done.
Writing in first person is also an equally big pain because it's so limiting.
Well, and
you can't say I too much because it gets old after a while, you know?
Well, and you also insert yourself into that character, and I don't know.
Well, that's why Twilight got so popular, is because everyone wanted to have a werewolf boyfriend and a vampire boyfriend.
Oh my god. It's funny, Kate.
That was the huge thing though in middle school for me. It was Twilight, and I hated every minute of it. I
only recently watched the Twilight movies, and oh my god, I had to tap out at Breaking Dawn Part 1. Once I finished that movie, I was like, I can't take any more of this.
So, if you ever want to watch the Twilight movies, go to Riff Tracks. So the guys who did Mystery Science Theater 3000, they have audio tracks where they do commentary. So they commentate over top of the movie, and half of the time, because I've watched the first movie of I've watched Twilight, and it's just line, just because there's such long pauses, and it's beautiful. It's just gold. It's pure gold. You'll laugh during the entire movie. It's so good. So
that's kind of
that would be.
Sorry, go on.
So if you ever have those movies that you want to watch just so you have an understanding of what everyone's talking about, I highly suggest going to downloading one of their commentaries, because it's comedy and it's funny and kind of what people are talking about, but then you're not your brain isn't melted out of your skull from watching it. And I understand people like Twilight, and to each their own, but wasn't my cup of tea back then.
See, here's why people like Twilight. It appeals to the demographic of people who want to have, they want to be saved by a hot dude.
Or two hot dudes.
And here's the thing, love triangles can be fun. They are very fun to write, as I've discovered.
Kate, freaking Inuyasha, though.
Okay, before we get off topic.
Sorry.
Inuyasha had a love hexagon or an octagon at some point.
Freaking Kikyo can choke on so many particles of dust and just slowly suffocate. I don't like
She's
her.
Dead.
She has friggin' Naraku, and then there's
that's
Inuyasha,
a corpse.
And baby Shishomura.
Inuyasha, that's a corpse you're loving over. You need to get over yourself and find a woman with blood in her veins, okay?
The one from the future
who's actually alive and actually likes you.
Yeah, and it's so confusing. Your brain is like,
are they not? I mean, he's seen her naked enough times.
Brain hurty.
It's a.
Anywho, so I think we're gonna go ahead. We're about the hour point, so I think what we can do is we'll go ahead. We're going to wrap up. Oh wow, we're about an hour 15 into recording. I think what we're gonna go ahead is we're gonna wrap up this episode of the podcast. And then what we can do is, after this, we'll take a short break, and then we'll get to another... We can maybe do part 2, where I literally just read the rest of the fanfic if we want to.
I mean, I'm probably not gonna be around because I have nothing else to contribute other than like that dumb one-off Meloetta fan fiction I wanted to do but didn't do. It was a creepypasta thing, but I never finished it.
So we'll go ahead. I think what we'll go ahead and do is we'll go ahead. We'll wrap up for today, at least for this episode of ClovenCasts, and then we'll take a micro break, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do on stream without recording, and then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So let me go ahead, pull up the script. So, oh, we forgot to do an OC review of the day, but you know what? We haven't gotten quite that far into the series yet, so we'll take care of it next time.
Yeah.
We'll do 2 next time. How's that sound?
We'll do 2 next time because, I haven't gotten a chance to record and upload that video yet because this week was finals week, so I just haven't had the time to do that, so I'll get that announcement video out soon enough for those who are watching this in the future. I'll put it in the card or something like that if you want to have your OC reviewed on screen. But for now, that's a wrap on today's talk. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of ClovenCast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to join the Cloven crew. We also stream our podcast live on Twitch, so be sure to catch us live every Friday at 7 p.m. EST on twitch.tv/SpiritPD. Links to all pages are in the description below, and hey, if you'd like to keep up with the show, be sure to follow your hosts on Twitter and check out the Discord server in the description below. That's all for now, everybody. I'm Spirit.
I'm Maple.
I'm Christy.
I'm Springheart.
And this is your ClovenCast, signing off.